Hello and welcome to today's problem, Geraldine the Daydreaming Giraffe. This is a watch me problem, so all you have to do is just watch and see how I solve this problem. And then in later videos, you're going to have to do the problem with me and then ultimately do it on your own, and then I will correct them with another video. Anyway, let's move on. Geraldine the Giraffe is a daydreamer. She daydreams most of the day away while other giraffes are busy stretching their necks to the high branches for food. Geraldine walks around all day daydreaming about her boyfriend, Gary. By the end of the day, she will be very hungry and she will have to scramble to get enough food. There is only 2/3 of the day remaining. If Geraldine daydreams for another 1/4 of a day, how much of the day will be left for her to eat? Alrighty, so this is a subtraction problem, and we are subtracting, there is 2/3 of the day that is remaining, and we are subtracting from that 1/4 of a day. So this is a simple subtraction problem. Now the very first thing we want to do is to create our fraction box. And when you're doing for subtraction, you only need to do one box. And then we're going to have to, in this case, we're going to need to convert it because these are uncommon or unalike denominators. And the rule for adding or subtracting, in this case, we're going to be subtracting. The very first and most important rule is that we've got to have common denominators so that they're the same size of box. So let's go ahead and make our box. And here we go. I'm going to just make a nice little box here that I can work with. And now if I have 2/3 of the day, that means I need to break this fraction box into 3 parts, which means I'll draw 2 lines. So I'm going to go one line right here and a second line right here. And this is telling me that I have 2 out of 3, right? I get 2/3 of the day. So I'm going to color in 2/3 here, and I'm going to just do this by coloring this in right here. And now as you see, I have 1, 2 out of 3, or 2/3 of the day left for Geraldine to eat some food. However, she does spend 1/4 of her time daydreaming, so we need to figure out how much we have left. Now, I can't subtract 1/4 from this because these are 2/3, and if they don't have common denominators, it's just impossible to subtract. So, the very first thing I'm going to do is look for my least common multiple, or my LCM as I call it, and I'm going to take my 3 and my 4, and I'm going to just write them right down here. So I'm going to go 3 and 4, and now I'm going to count by 3's first so I can find multiples of 3, and then I'll find multiples of 4, and I got to find one that's in common. So I'm going to count by 3's, so 3, 6, 9, and 12, and then I'll count by 4's, 4, 8, 12, 16, and as you see right here, I've got a common multiple in the 12, right? So I'm going to circle those. Now that means that if I want to change this third, these 2/3 into 12ths, I got to cut this box here into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, and then I'll turn it into 12ths. I'll have 12 boxes instead. So watch how I do that. If there's 4 parts here, I'm going to draw 3 lines coming down this way. So watch how I do that. I got 1 line, 2 lines, and 3 lines. Now that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, which is what I had wanted in order to get 12ths. So watch, now I have 12 little boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I have common multiples here. And now I'm going to put this all on hold and move to the algorithm. So watch what I do here, and you'll see how the algorithm will tie into our illustration here. So I'm going to write my 2/3 and I'm going to be subtracting the 1/4. Now, I need to get common denominators here, right? So I got to turn these into 12ths, just like I did here. So for the top one, I'm going to multiply it by the giant 1 of to get to 12, right? And bear with me for 1 second here. If I'm multiplying by the giant 1, now first of all, reminder, the reason I'm using the giant 1 is because I don't want to change this number, and if I multiply anything by 1, I get the same number, but I'm going to get different boxes. Now watch what happens here. I'm going to multiply it by 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll multiply this by 4 over 4, and that will give me a new fraction, and 2 times 4 is going to give me 8. So I'm going to have 8 here, and then here 3 times 4 will give me 12. Now watch how cool this is. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 9, 10, 11, 12. So this whole box has 12 in it, which is our denominator. It tells us how many parts the box is broken into. In this case, it's representing the day that Geraldine is daydreaming away, right? So there's 8/12 of the day left, right? Now, so I want to subtract the 1/4, but I need to have these quarter in 12s, right? So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to multiply this 1/4 by another giant 1. So let me just multiply by the giant 1 here. That is a beautiful 1, huh? And I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3. So 3 over 3. So I'm going to multiply 3 over 3. And here I have 1 times 3 will give me 3. And then down here, 4 times 3 will give me 12. So I'm going to write the 12 right there. Now, I am subtracting 3 of these 12ths away. So watch what I do here. Now I'm going to subtract 1 here. So I'm going to just get rid of that one. I'm going to subtract another one because I'm subtracting 3 of them, right? So I'm going to subtract that one. And then I'm going to subtract one more, and I'm subtracting that one. And now what is left, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the original 12, right? So I have 5/12 left, and let me just write that right here. I have 5/12 left. That's what's left of the day for Geraldine to eat after she daydreams the rest of these 1, 2, 3 twelfths away. She already daydreamed all but 2/3 of the day, right? This is 2/3 is left. She does another 1/4. Well, that's getting rid of these 3 here, and now she has 5/12 of the day to eat, which is enough. She better just get eaten, right? Well, let's go ahead and look at how the algorithm works here then. So I'm going to subtract these numbers right here. So the rule with subtracting fractions, first rule is they have to have common denominators, which we have. They're both 12ths. And then I'm simply going to take 8 minus 3, which will give me 5/12, right? Because I just dropped the denominator, because the denominator just tells us how many parts this whole box, in this case this box is representing the day, right? So there's 5/12 left, and as you see, 5/12 right here agrees with our answer from our illustration of 5/12 right there. So that right there is your answer, my friend. Geraldine has 5/12 of the day left to eat some food. Thanks for watching. Our next one will be a work with me. So I'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye.